Welcome back to the English Diary podcast. Imagine someone handed you $1 million right now. Would it make you happy? Today, we're asking a big question. Can money buy happiness? And the journey might just change the way you think about life. Welcome to today's episode. I want to start with a question that's been asked for centuries, debated over coffee tables, in classrooms, on social media, and even in philosophy books. Can money buy happiness? It's a question that sounds simple, but the answer is layered, emotional, and deeply personal. Some people will immediately say, of course not. Happiness comes from love, health, peace of mind, relationships, and a sense of purpose. You can't swipe your credit card at a store and walk out with a bag of happiness. But others will reply, well, try being happy when you can't pay rent, when your child is sick and you can't afford treatment, or when you're drowning in debt. Tell me money doesn't matter then. Both perspectives hold truth, and that's what makes this such a fascinating topic to explore. So today, let's dive into this question together. Let's unpack the layers, look at the signs, explore real-life stories, and reflect on our own relationship with money and happiness. By the end of this conversation, you might not have a perfect yes or no answer, but you'll definitely have a deeper understanding of how money interacts with your emotions, your choices, and your sense of meaning in life. Let's start with a scenario. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. The sun is shining. You stretch in bed, and you realize that all your bills are paid. Your rent or mortgage? Covered. Your fridge? Full. Your debts? Gone. You even have enough left over for small luxuries, like ordering your favorite meal, buying that book you wanted, or planning a weekend getaway. Doesn't that thought immediately bring a sense of relief? Maybe even joy? Now flip the picture. Imagine waking up with unpaid bills piled up on the counter, your phone buzzing with payment reminders, your landlord knocking, and your stomach tight with stress. Even if you wanted to feel happy, that constant financial pressure would weigh on you like a heavy stone. This shows us something important. Money doesn't guarantee happiness, but the absence of money, especially the absence of enough to cover basic needs, can definitely guarantee unhappiness. This idea has been studied in detail. In 2010, two researchers, Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton, found something fascinating. They studied thousands of people in the United States and discovered that happiness does rise as income increases, but only up to a point around $75,000 per year back then. Beyond that, extra income didn't necessarily increase day-to-day happiness. Why? Because after basic needs and a certain level of comfort are met, the emotional return on money starts to flatten. You could make $100,000, $200,000, even $1 million a year, but the increase in happiness isn't as dramatic as the jump from struggling to secure food and shelter to being financially stable. The reason lies in something called hedonic adaptation. Humans are incredible at adapting to circumstances. That's good news when we face hardships. It means we can survive, adjust, and keep going. But it's tricky when it comes to wealth and luxury. You buy a shiny new car, and at first it feels amazing. You feel proud, successful, even joyful. But give it a few months, and suddenly it's just your car. The thrill fades. The same happens with clothes, gadgets, even houses. What once felt like a dream come true becomes the new normal, and your brain starts craving the next upgrade. So if money beyond a certain level doesn't directly boost happiness, what does? The key is in how we use money. Because while money may not buy happiness in itself, it can buy freedom, experiences, peace of mind, and opportunities. And those things absolutely shape our happiness. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Ravi who grew up in a small town where money was always tight. His parents worked long hours just to cover the basics. Ravi saw their stress, their sacrifices, and he often felt guilty for even small expenses like new shoes or a school trip. But he was determined. He studied hard, worked part-time jobs, and eventually built a career. Years later, when his younger sister fell ill and needed urgent treatment, Ravi was able to pay for it without hesitation. At that moment, the happiness he felt didn't come from the money itself, but from what it allowed him to do, protect and care for someone he loved. This is where money shows its real power. It buys us the ability to make choices. The choice to walk away from a toxic job. The choice to spend more time with family instead of working 3 shifts. The choice to invest in our health, our passions, and our relationships. Money, when used well, doesn't buy happiness directly, but it creates the conditions for happiness to flourish. But here's where it gets complicated. Many people chase money in ways that actually reduce their happiness. They sacrifice health, relationships, and peace of mind in pursuit of wealth, believing that once they make it, they'll finally be happy. But often, when they get there, they realize they've lost so much along the way. A high-paying job that drains your soul, keeps you away from your family, and destroys your health. Can that truly be called happiness? This is why psychologists emphasize intentional spending. Research shows that spending money on experiences often brings more lasting joy than spending on material possessions. Think about it. A vacation, a concert, a weekend road trip with friends, these experiences become memories, stories, and part of who you are. Meanwhile, that expensive pair of shoes or new phone, exciting for a moment, but quickly replaced or forgotten. Experiences connect us with others and create emotions that last far longer. Another powerful insight comes from generosity. Multiple studies have shown that people who spend money on others, whether buying gifts, treating a friend, or donating to a cause, report higher levels of happiness than those who only spend on themselves. Imagine the joy of surprising someone you love with something they've always wanted, or the fulfillment of knowing your donation helped a family in need. That kind of happiness runs deeper than buying yourself another gadget. Of course, culture plays a huge role here. In some societies, wealth is seen as a sign of status, while in others, it's valued more for security or community contribution. For some, happiness is living simply with few possessions, but rich relationships. For others, it's tied to ambition, success, and constant growth. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Now, let's go back to the thought experiment. Imagine someone gives you $1 million right now. No strings attached. What's the first thing you would do? Pay off debts? Buy a house? Travel the world? Invest in your future? Help your family or community? Your answer reveals what happiness means to you. For some, the first thought is relief. For others, adventure. For others, generosity. The money is the same, but the meaning attached to it is personal. There's also another layer. Money can influence our sense of time. Think about it. If you have enough money, you can outsource tasks you don't enjoy, like cleaning, mowing the lawn, or fixing things around the house, and use that time for something that truly fulfills you. This concept is called buying back time. And studies show that people who use money to save time often feel happier than those who use it only for material goods. Because time is the one resource we can never get back. But let's not romanticize money either. There are countless examples of wealthy people who are miserable. Fame and fortune don't shield anyone from loneliness, anxiety, or depression. In fact, sometimes extreme wealth creates its own problems: isolation, lack of trust in relationships, constant pressure to maintain an image. So clearly, money alone cannot guarantee happiness. At the same time, poverty can create obstacles so heavy that talking about finding joy within feels unfair. Telling someone struggling to put food on the table that money doesn't matter is almost insulting. For them, money can mean the difference between despair and hope, between survival and security. So where does that leave us? The truth lies in balance. Money matters. It gives us security, freedom, and opportunity. But it's not the final answer. It's a tool, a resource, and like any tool, its value depends on how we use it. If you use money to compete, compare, and constantly chase the next shiny thing, you'll probably end up stressed and unfulfilled. But if you use it to create stability, to nurture relationships, to build memories, to give back, and to buy yourself more meaningful time, then money absolutely can contribute to happiness. As we wrap up, let's reflect. Happiness is not for sale on a store shelf, but money can open the doors that lead us there. It can't guarantee love, but it can give you the freedom to spend more time with the people you love. It can't give you purpose, but it can buy you the breathing room to pursue your passions. It can't stop sadness or loss, but it can soften life's blows by giving you resources and security. So the next time someone asks, can money buy happiness? The answer might be, not directly, but it can buy the conditions where happiness is more likely to grow. And maybe that's the wiser way to look at it. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope this conversation gave you new insights into your own relationship with money and happiness. And here's a little challenge. Think about the next dollar you spend. Ask yourself, is this purchase going to bring me closer to lasting joy, to freedom, to meaning? Or is it just another thing I'll forget in a week? That little reflection can make all the